Give me your read of how we got here, because we have to have administrators. Initially, I had said that, what is it with our lawyers? But then I remember that if a lawyer is not briefed, he's not briefed. He doesn't know anything about it. Were the lawyers briefed in time? Is this the fault of the lawyers? Did they do a shoddy job? Is it the fault of our administrators? Is it the fault of Ogun State government? Is it the fault of the federal government? So, or is it even a matter of finding fault wherever it is due? Is that the issue? What should we be looking at going forward so that we don't have this kind of an embarrassment again?
Unfortunately, you do not have a system that can prevent this kind of embarrassment in the future. Because the system that we operate is insensitive to things like this. You know, we used to the fact that in our own judicial system, you can murder people and get away free with it, especially if you have political power.
Yes, in a manner of speaking.
And you're enjoying some level of immunity in the local system.
Yes, but that is not a thorough fact. You're just, it's hyperbolic.
Yes.
To emphasize.
So that people understand how bad the situation is. Because when you look at the history of this extant case, you will find out that there had been opportunities, time and time again, that this could have been nipped in the bud. But
we weren't taking action.
The dramatists personnel didn't think it was an important issue that should take their time. Because you also understand that sometimes in 2021, there was an arbitration in London on this very issue. That arbitration was presided by the president of the UK Supreme Court. It made an award. Representatives from Ogun State government were there. And I also want to believe that Nigeria sent a representative. That's why it's called an arbitration. The parties sat down and the arbitrator gave a judgment, $75.4 million. And not a dime has been paid. We have not heard about the appeal, if there was provision for an appeal from arbitration. Everybody just went quietly away, leaving these guys to plot their next move. And this is what we are seeing as the embarrassment.
Even when the judgment was given against us, against the defendants, which was Nigeria, Ogun State government, where the federal government comes into all of this is that it, by default, is the guarantor, isn't it?
Yes.
Of any of these kind of laws.
Because in international law, subnational government cannot sign international agreement without the federal government providing a cover. It's like the CBN going to sell treasury bills. They are using the sovereignty of Nigeria as security or collateral. This is what happened. And now the reason why they have gone for the jugular of the federal government is because they feel that they are in the position to pay this money.
Yes.
Because they can pay and then deduct this money from Ogun State FARC allocations over the months, okay? Or just pay and then deal with Ogun State.
It seems that there were lapses all over. Even the federal government doesn't seem to have its own watchdog over affairs. The Ogun State must have known that it was defaulting. This, again, people that are hearing about this action now, some might think that it's a recent matter, but it's a long-standing matter. It goes back to the time of then Governor Benga Daniel, now Senator. And after that, there was another governor, Mosu, and right until we have Governor Abiodun now. So this is a matter of long standing. And I don't understand how somebody wasn't even able to blow the whistle that, look, time is passing and we are now in serious, not just default, serious default.
Okay, so I think here's the problem. First and foremost, the people that were involved in this don't even see it as a problem, and they still don't see it as a problem. So let me give you a brief background of what has happened.
Sure.
I think it was sometimes in 2003 that the idea to set up a trade zone, like you have the Lagos trade zone, with a Chinese company started. But it wasn't until 2007 that that contract was signed. Okay? The original contractor was subsequently substituted with this current company. Now, the argument for terminating the contract was that they got an information from the Chinese embassy, the commercial department of the Chinese embassy in Lagos, that this company was not registered by them and therefore was not authorized to do business in Nigeria. That was the basis for which this thing was cancelled. But then it raises so many questions. The prominent of this is that who carried out the due process?
The due diligence.
Yes. Due diligence, who went to search this company. If the same commercial department of the Chinese embassy can write to you saying, we don't recognize this company, why was it difficult in the first place for those who entered into this agreement to go to the same place to say, who are we dealing with from your country? Do they have the capacity, or do they have your imprimatur? Or are there people we can deal with? Why was that not done? Now, you didn't do that. Of course, in every contract, you have exit clauses. If this doesn't happen, this happens. Why did they not follow that? Because you see, when they went to court in Nigeria here, their prayer was to say they want to be brought back to the contract and for the contract to continue. But at some point, they felt that it was dragging too long and they were not likely to get justice. So they terminated the suit here and they went abroad and started the process of arbitration. So it's been long in coming to this point. It just didn't happen. But look, when you listen to the guys that were involved in this, Amosu had said, former governor has said, look, we terminated it because this was a fraudulent company. They made a misrepresentation to us. And when we found out, we decided to terminate it. Yeah. But was that the basis for terminating? Did you write to them saying so? Did you work around the contract to see that the exit clauses were followed in terminating this contract? Because
these are the legal questions that will be asked. These are the ones that you're tripping out now. Yeah. And we had senior lawyers in there. We had senior lawyers on the Nigerian part. We had senior lawyers in there in all of this time. And I just don't know. A lot of Nigerians are just watching and hoping that maybe the lawyers can help us sort it out. It can't be, or can it? Can it be that the legal team was so slack, so lacking in professionalism?
No, I wouldn't agree with you.
I'm saying, I'm casting around.